So we're back at Fighter Nation with Termite Watkins. We're talking about 15 rounds of success in life and business, and maybe talking a little bit about boxing. We're in round 13, and we wanted to talk about what it is for the first 12 rounds of fighting, which is what normally, I was kind of teasing Termite about this a couple weeks ago. And so we want to talk about what those other rounds are and kind of maybe some of why they got dropped and why, and what used to happen in those rounds.
Well, and after the 12th round, you got 13, 14, and 15. And in those rounds, which I really like those days because it really, if you could make that 15 rounds, you were a real champion. And they cut it off today at 12. But back when it was 15, when you got past that 12th round, you went into that 13 and that 14 and that 15, the real champions really rose, the cream rose to the top.
Right.
The champions rose to the top.
And our topic today is learn from your mistakes.
Exactly.
And so that's kind of the lead in for that. Those latter rounds, you know, hopefully you figured out what you're doing by then. So learn from your mistakes in the sense of boxing. What does that mean to you? Give me an example of learning from your mistakes in the ring.
Okay, in the boxing, so you're fighting. If you keep getting hit with the right hand, that means you're dropping your left. You've got to be able to fix your mistakes during a fight. You got to have a good corner man. So just like in business, you got to have a good team. But in boxing, you've got your corner man, you've got your trainer, and when they tell you keep that left hand up because you're getting hit with that right, you've got to be able to make that adjustment. You've got to have the physical awareness, the physical condition, and you've got to know how to fix it. Because if you've not ever fixed it before, you're not going to know how. And you've got to make sure that you do fix it because it will catch up.
In this idea of learning from your mistakes, I learned eventually to keep my left hand up. But in business, I mean, it's obvious that, you know, if you make the same mistakes over and over again, generally speaking in business, we learn by losing money. And if you learn the same mistake over and over again, you're piling up money you lost. And it's kind of a game that I like to play. Is like, can I figure it out before I lose all my money?
You know, it's important for people to make mistakes because that's how you learn. But when you keep on making them, and that's what we're talking about, you've got to be able to not keep on making them. If you keep on making mistakes, it can cost you your business. In a boxing match, it can cost you a win. It can get you knocked out. And so you've got to be able to adjust. And when you're making mistakes, you got to be able to fix it. In business, if you don't fix your mistakes, if you're making, you know, sometimes you got to sit back and examine what you're doing. Is it working? If it's not working, why isn't it working? And when you recognize that problem of why it's not working, you've got to be able to fix it. And if you don't, that's part of business is taking the time to think it out. What am I doing right and what am I doing wrong? And if you don't fix what you're doing wrong, again, as we said a while ago, it can sink you. So maybe you're having problems in your business. Maybe it's time to sit back and examine what you're doing and fix your mistakes.
Thanks a lot, Termite. We'll see you guys next week.